Alright, so we're going to begin our tempera paint skill builder. So tempera paints are the paints that come to us in bottles in liquid form. This is liquid tempera. We also have tempera cakes, which are round. They come in a tray. They look like little cupcakes, kind of. So I'm going to be demonstrating here with liquid tempera. And with this, you need a brush and water, but with liquid tempera, you do not need to get your brush wet. So the first one, I can use cool colors to create 5 tints. When I say tint, that means a color with white. So you are learning how to show value with color by mixing that color with white, which makes it lighter. Okay, so I have my paint palette here. Notice how I just have little drops of color here. So I'm going to start. I'm going to pull one color. I'm going to use green. And I'm just going to start with plain green. So this is called my pure color. It is straight out of the bottle, and when you paint, always remember, drag your brush. Don't ever push it away. And somebody did this on this brush. I don't know if you can tell, but you can see it has a little bit of bad hair, so my artwork isn't as neat as it should be because that hair is getting in the way. Okay, so this is my pure color. You want to try and get rid of all of your streaks. And then you want to just add a little bit of white to that pure color, okay? And I'm going to actually pull it down a little bit. You don't want to get too light too quick, so my next tint just has to be a little lighter than regular green. And I think I achieved that. Okay, and then I'm just going to spoon in a little more of this white to this color, and it should be lighter. And if it's not lighter, get a little more white in there. You don't want 2 tints to be the same. They should be getting lighter and lighter with each square. Okay, more white. I want you to notice how I'm not putting the color into the white. You don't want to put the green into the white because then you're going to end up with the same value. It's going to be hard to keep getting it lighter and lighter. Okay, so now I'm at my last one. This one should be my lightest, so that means more white, less green. And now I get this beautiful sort of seafoam mint green color. Okay, so that's showing tints. Okay, so now I'm going to rinse my brush and I'm going to go to shade. So shade is the opposite. Shade is getting darker by mixing the color with black. So again, I'm going to start though with my pure color. Sorry, you're going to start with the pure color, except you want to use warm colors this time. So I need to pick a warm color, a color that makes me feel hot. Okay. So now I'm going to take a little bit of black with that color, and you want to slowly start getting darker. So you're going to start out with more color, less black. Okay, so I add in a little more black. Again though, you don't want to get too dark too quick. So it's almost like a recipe. See, that's a little actually lighter than that one, so I need a little more black in there. So the last one should be just a little bit of your color and mostly black. And our black paints aren't the greatest black paints. Sometimes liquid tempera doesn't give us the best black. So it might seem to look a little funny, but you get the idea here. It should be getting darker and darker and darker. Okay, so these are shades, these are tints. This is how you can show lights and shadow in your artwork. Create things beautiful. Okay, now down at the bottom it says I can create a color wheel. So I want you to start with the primary colors. Okay, and I give you all of the colors over here. Red, yellow, and blue. So I'm going to start with red, and a red is a primary color, so I need to find a P, and this is where I'm going to paint in my red. I shall rinse my brush, and my next primary color is yellow. So I find the next P, and I go to yellow. Rinse my brush. Now when you paint, I also sometimes get a sponge out to help kind of soak up some of that water that's on my brush, especially on projects where I need to rinse a lot. Okay, blue is my last primary color, so I will put blue in the next spot that has the letter P for primary. Okay, so now what you need to look at, here's the primary colors. These are the colors that you start with. These come straight out of the bottle. You have to buy these from the store. But now that I have these 3 colors, I can use these colors to create new colors. So you can create secondary colors with the primary. So secondary are green, orange, and violet. But look here on the color wheel. So here's the S. This is where the secondary color is going to go. What you want to do is you want to think, what are the 2 primaries on either side of it? So this is a yellow, this is a red. Yellow mixed with red, you get orange. So the orange has to be in this section here. Now you could mix the yellow with the red to create orange. I do, however, have orange out of a bottle that I'm just going to use here. But that's the beauty. You don't need to buy every single color. You can just buy your basics, and then you can use those to mix. A lot of artists do that. Okay, so now here in this secondary section, the S, blue mixed with yellow equals green. So this section, I will paint green. And then my last S secondary, red mixed with blue. Red mixed with blue is violet, so I will paint this violet. Okay, so now we're left with things called tertiary colors. Some people call them intermediate colors. And so I put a T in all of those spots. Notice how we made a pattern here. So we have primary, tertiary, secondary, tertiary, primary, tertiary, secondary, tertiary, and so on. So tertiary colors both have first and last names. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, green. Okay, and these are very easy to figure out. So you take your primary, mix it with your secondary, and that becomes your tertiary right here. So red mixed with orange equals red, orange. So in this section I will paint red, orange. Now these you have to mix. So I'm going to take a little bit of red and just kind of gently swirl it in with some of my orange to create red, orange. And you want it to be evenly mixed. And it should be right in between these colors. It shouldn't look too red, it shouldn't look too orange. It should be right in the middle. Very pretty. Okay, next one, I have yellow as my primary, orange is my secondary. I mix those together, I get yellow, orange. Alright, so we paint that yellow, orange here. And so on and so forth. So this is yellow plus green, therefore I'm going to mix yellow and green to create a yellow-green. So if in the future you would like to achieve these kinds of colors in your artwork, now you know how to mix paint to create those. If I don't have that bottle of paint, try mixing. This is how artists discover things. Okay, so now I've created my color wheel. Now you know how colors are arranged in the wheel form. And knowing the color wheel is really essential for artists because from here they can pick which colors look good together. For instance, red and green, they are on opposite sides of the wheel. Anytime you choose colors that are on opposite sides of the wheel and you use them in your artwork, it's always going to look nice because those are called complementary colors. They work well together. There's a lot of other cool combinations you can make here. You can use all cool colors. Those will look pretty together. All warm colors, those will look pretty together. Any colors that are neighbors look pretty together. There's a whole bunch, and I can teach you those if you would like to know more about that. But this is the basics of how to mix colors and how to know they are arranged on the color wheel, how to create light, how to create shadow using tints and shades.